Hi, everybody, and welcome to Basic Co-op Etiquette. I'm Hearts, and we're going to be talking about how to not be a total dipshit on co-op when it comes out next Monday. This is a free update for all PC players. It's also going to include a bunch of item updates for quality 1s and quality 0s, the 10 worst items in the game, according to the community. And I'm really excited to talk about how we can be better players and kinder community members to each other. So let's start off with the first thing you do on any Isaac run. Picking an end goal as a team is a bit more difficult than it would be with a single player. Obviously, there is no one way to do it, but here's some general rules that I thought might make things easier. State clearly what completion mark you want to achieve. You can do this in the in-game chat or somehow communicate this through body language. I don't know quite how to do that yet. Respect others' file progress if you aren't going anywhere specific. The needs of the many outweigh those of the few. AKA, if many people want to go to one end boss, let them go to that end boss. Don't be the stick in the mud. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. I would not recommend starting a lobby until you have most of the end bosses unlocked because it will end your runs early. And by start a lobby, I mean don't create a lobby yourself, because if you only have Mom's Heart unlocked, it will end after Mom's Heart. Thank you very much. Item etiquette and communication. Items are going to be limited in co-op because you only get one item room. You obviously get the full amount of items from boss rooms, but you also get limited amounts from devil deals and angel deals. This means you need to communicate before grabbing at every item you see. There are 3 major tools to communicate. Movement. Left to right? No. Up and down? Yes. Tears? Shoot at the person who you think should take the item. They can respond with that yes and no we just mentioned. And use chat. The in-game chat will be quite useful. It'll probably be used less often because it takes more time than either movement or tears, but use it when you can't come to a consensus on whatever's going on. Combat etiquette. Bossing etiquette is difficult to establish in Isaac because of how diverse playstyles and skill levels are in this massive game, but there are a few things we can talk about with our team to make this process less painful. I want to preface this by saying this slide will contain quite a lot of my opinion, so please take it with a grain of salt if you think I'm being a dingus. 1. Establish how long each person has been playing to give yourself reasonable expectations of their skill level. 2. Ask for how they like to play, whether or not they play up close and personal so that they can get melee attacks in, or whether they lean back and they just kind of hang out in the corner. Keep in mind that this playstyle will very much differ depending on which character they chose for this run as well. Offer advice either if asked or if they have asked if they want advice first. No other time is acceptable to give advice. Don't just throw advice out because often that can lead to resentment and salt within your lobby. Use item etiquette to aid their playstyle as well, the one we talked about earlier. So obviously, if you're going to play as the Forgotten, they should be taking the Wiz over any other character. Picking characters for diversity and synergy. A number of characters in the game have smaller synergies that make them mechanically beneficial to each other. One example of this is Tainted Maggie has an on-kill effect where everything will drop a red heart if it was killed with melee damage. And often things will drop a red heart if killed with other forms of damage as well. Tainted Bethany really benefits from this because she gets lots of charges for her Lemegaton out of this, which is really, really cool and very powerful together. Another thing to keep in mind is that all players will get all marks achieved during a run, so character diversity is deeply encouraged. This is at least how it worked during beta. If it does not work this way, please let me off the hook. This is just my opinion, but it's also more fun to have a rogues gallery represented on every run. And thank you for SlayXC2 on YouTube for the image. Now, unfortunately, there are going to be times when somebody's being mean in a lobby, and we have to know when to kick a player. There are, I think, 3 general reasons for when to kick a player in an Isaac lobby. Number 1 is griefing. Griefing is things like taking all of the items, intentionally dying, or generally not communicating with the team. The number 1 character that I've seen people grief with in the beta lobbies were Tainted Cain, just basically turning everything into consumables, which was very frustrating for a lot of players. And it was just not fun all around. So be cautious when you're playing with the Tainted Cain player. Be aware of their behaviors and how they're interacting with the team overall. 2, being toxic in chat. Blaming others for everything is a very common behavior in online video games, so just be conscious of it. Or saying copious amounts of slurs. This is the internet. People are going to be terrible. Be aware of that. Finally, choosing a character that is out of their depth. This is a little bit more subjective. Dying unintentionally but frequently, dragging a boss into patterns that the team isn't ready for, and no warning that the things above will happen. If somebody hops into your lobby and says, "Hi, I'm trying out this character, I may need some help," totally fine. You have an expectation of what they're doing and how they're going to do it. But if they just hop into the lobby, have no form of communication, and just are dying left and right or creating situations that the party is not ready for, it can be very frustrating and may lead to them needing to be kicked out of the lobby to make the play patterns more enjoyable for everybody overall. Thank you so much for watching. If you really enjoyed this, leave a like, comment, and subscribe, please. And you can follow me on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. I really appreciate you for hanging out, and I've been Hearts. Bye.